I have something super cheerful for you today because, well, I think we could all do with a bit of floral cheer in our lives at the moment, don't you think? And I'm still working with my June floral theme for YouTube and for Patreon as well. It's really great because it's focusing my mind and also my practice too. Have you been trying it? Have you been doing any floral art so far this month? By the way, if you have, I have a hashtag on Instagram running. It's Kim Dellow Floral June, and it's on your screens now and it's also in the description too, along with the products that I've used today. If you fancy it, you can share any of your floral art that's been inspired by my videos this month because I would really love to see it. So thank you in advance for sharing, that would be great. And I think for this piece today, it almost ends up more of the sort of illustrative type of art. But let me know what you think, I would really like to hear, so tell me when you see it at the end. And also I've got at the end some working tips for you to use in your own art piece. And they all really come from this project today. So this project, well, it started as an idea. There were images of flowers in my head, that's where this one started. And it was really only the only thing that I was sure about on this piece was that flower image that I had in my head. So it's not a planned piece, but there is that image in my head and I am looking for a particular sort of floral look. And maybe that's why I ended up more illustrative looking. I'm not sure, maybe. Anyway, let me walk you through it. So I grabbed the inky background from my stash without much thinking about it. It was just kind of there. And you can see me making it here in this footage, but actually I made this last year. And it was from a group of ink backgrounds that I set up and then just left. And I have been working on some of them bit by bit here and there, and you might have spotted them in some of my other videos. I think my watercolour resist video with the peony was done on a background very similar to this, done around about the same time. And I'll put a link to that video in the cards in the description for you because it's perfect, because it's also a flower, so great for Floral June. Now the leafy layer, or maybe I should call this one layers, as it does, I change up the paint and the colours that I'm using here to build up a sort of forest of overlapping leaf motifs. And they were all organic and intuitive, but of course very in keeping with the theme. And I wasn't sure what I wanted here at this layer. But as I worked more and more on it and built up more and more leaves, and with the different shades of green and all this, it did become clearer that that would work for me. I mean, there were times when I was considering adding in some different colours here, or even putting in some ballpoint pen in black here and things like that, adding different marks and doing the kind of mark making that you've seen me do recently. But I think it works well with this bed of leaves, and it definitely works really well with the next layer, with the flower layer. And I love how the colours turned out in this, and it was quite accidental. I wasn't really thinking about the colour. The only colour that I'd pre-chosen before I started this was red. I knew that red was going to be in the flowers. The yellow and the orange hues that are also in the flowers, they came along later as I was painting. And the greens that I used for the leaf layers, well, it was all really down to the products that I had and the colours that I had in those products. I don't have a wide range of greens as it's not really a colour that I use a lot unless it's for foliage. And also, I mean, greens are quite easy to mix, so I do tend to spend my money on colours that attract me more and the dual colours, and I pick up the occasional green and brown here and there, the more earthy tones, more for convenience. So the teal base, the teal green base, was a total accident really, and not a conscious colour choice at all. But teal being my favourite colour of all time, well, it doesn't take a big leap for me to be working on it. And I have a few of these teal pieces hanging around the place. But I would not have, if I'd sat down to think about it, I would not have picked all of these colours together. So that was a very definite organic colour combination growth, but I really like how it turned out. So okay, so some top tips for helping you when you do your next project. And the moral of this story from this project today is to let colours kind of choose themselves sometimes. And you can do this by letting a theme dictate the colour like I did with the green of the leaves. But also, if you take away nothing else from this video, I think the one thing that you could easily put into your daily practice with your art is having a stock of backgrounds that are just there to grab. And they don't have to be that detailed either. You just saw that this one was just a wash of an acrylic ink. And what you can do before you're starting a session is just do a few washes of different colours, maybe use acrylics, because then you know that even if you forget what you've put on there, that they won't run when you add layers on top. And do a few of them at the beginning of your session, leave them to dry and put them in a corner ready to work on for some other project in the future. So a project starter grab pile. Now I have more mixed media tips and techniques in these videos here to share with you, so watch them next and I'll see you over there.